Hello, welcome to Cooking the Books with Heather. Today we will be baking chocolate crinkle cookies from the complete baking book for young chefs.
So it's Christmas, as you may be able to tell from my shirt, but not from his. And we're going to be making some cookies. These seem like a good Christmas cookie. They are really pretty. They look like they have snow on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We've measured out most of our ingredients here. We don't have anything ready for the last part where we actually make them look like they have snow in them. But we'll do that
later
after we get the cookies all put together, because we can. But we weighed out most of the ingredients because that's pretty easy if you have a scale, right?
Yeah.
And it's pretty accurate. Sometimes with flour you can pack it too tightly and then you get too much and it's too dry. So weighing it out is a pretty good idea. But we already have our oven heated to 325 degrees. And I have a baking sheet, a rimmed baking sheet lined with parchment paper, which is what they're going to go on. So that's all ready.
Yes.
And we're going to cook them in the middle of the oven. So we've got a rack in the middle position. And we're ready to get started.
Yes, we are.
So what are we going to do?
So I'm guessing...
No, read the instructions.
Okay, so first in a medium bowl, whisk together your dry ingredients, your flour, cocoa, baking powder, baking soda, salt.
Okay, so what do we need in here?
Flour.
All right. Yep, so this is supposed to be Dutch processed cocoa. I don't know that we have any Dutch processed cocoa right this minute, but
Okay.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Baking.
So then, yeah, so these are our leavening ingredients: baking soda,
baking powder,
and then we also have salt, which is, good in everything.
Baking powder, baking soda, and salt. That's all your...
And then we're going to whisk this together gently.
And
we can just set that aside.
And then in a large...
Oh, now we get to do the fun part.
Yay!
So we're not going to do this in front of the camera because our cameraman is our setup is a little wonky right now because something broke. So we don't want to do anything
to break
violent around our tripod situation. But so we have, let me put this down. We have some chocolate. This is unsweetened chocolate. Mostly I have some baker's chocolate. I have some 100% chocolate. And then I have some like 90% chocolate because that's just what we had in our pantry. And I couldn't find baking chocolate at the grocery store. But it'll be fine. And we're going to, he's going to take this and beat it up. We're going to find somewhere else, probably over there, and try not to hurt anything, but we're trying to break this up into small bits so we can melt it. So there he goes. So we did something a little out of order. We were supposed to mix some other stuff up first, but we're going to get this melting now. What do we have in here?
We have our butter.
Unsalted butter. And we're going to add our chocolate to that, and we're going to melt it in the microwave. So it says 1 to 2 minutes at 50% power. Now we are lucky enough that our microwave has a melt chocolate feature, which works pretty well. And it will stop and beep and tell you to stir it. So we're going to put the chocolate that we banged up and made small in here with our butter. And that can go in the trash. And we're going to go put this in the microwave and melt it. And stir it with a rubber spatula to make sure everything is all melted. So, you know how?
Yes.
The other part we're supposed to be doing now is to mix up our wet ingredients, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do first? So what is this?
This is our brown sugar.
Mm-hmm.
This is our eggs.
Yes, so this uses whole egg and egg yolk, and we've already separated those eggs here, so you can put that in there.
And then we need vanilla.
How much vanilla do we need to put in there? You can measure it. You can see this is not quite melted yet, but I'm going to stir it and put it back in the microwave. Full. That's not full. That's good. It helps if you hold it straight, not slanty.
Okay, now we're going to whisk this together until combined.
That's right. We get all of our...
I think we did.
Yep, looks pretty well combined to me. And our chocolate is all melted. It's a little hot. I think we're going to let it cool off
For just a second.
Before we add it to our eggs. So we're done with our whisk. We're going to put that in the sink. Okay, I'm going to pour this in and you stir it up, okay? Trying to get as much of this chocolate out of the bowl as I can.
So there's none left for me to lick?
Well, it's unsweetened, so you don't want to lick it. You need to get around the edges. That's what part you missed.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and then we add our flour mixture.
Just go ahead and dump it in.
Num.
We
Yeah.
stir that until combined, but be very careful.
And no dry flour is left.
Right, you don't want the dry flour, but we also don't want to overwork it too much. So we want to get it just stirred up together. And it might get a little difficult to stir because cookies are a very stiff dough compared to some things, right?
Yeah. And also and with bread it gets hard because it's sticky.
He helps his dad make bread a lot. Apparently you can stir this a little bit more vigorously than I probably need to stir it a little more vigorously than I thought. Yep. You know what helps? Let me show you. If you scoop it up and put it in the middle.
Okay, I think it's very good.
All right, let me...
Just so...
There's still some dry stuff here, so we need to...
It already looks like cookie dough.
It does. I'm going to give it a good stir here.
By the way, this only makes 12 cookies.
Yes, it's a very small batch of cookies.
If you want more, just double the recipe.
Well, I assume a double recipe would work okay, but, you know, we'll see. But it'll make 1 dozen chocolate crinkle cookies. All right, so this is pretty good now. I think I don't see any dry flour or anything in there. It's all good. But we just have to let this sit for 10 minutes. But while we let it sit, we can get the coating, the stuff we need to coat it in when it's all done.
We need sugar and confectioners or powdered sugar.
The amounts on this doesn't matter quite as much because, but we're going to measure it, but it doesn't matter as much because you do need to, you just are coating it and there will be extra. So
I'm used to flour.
I know, well, sugar's different.
Sugar is more grainy, like sand.
And my powdered sugar is not very powdered. It's a little clumpy.
Doesn't really matter.
So I'm going to get a mini whisk out and we're going to whisk it up and try to get the lumps out. We're going to do this in sort of an assembly line. I'm going to scoop. These are supposed to be about 2 tablespoons. This is my cookie scoop, which I think is about 2 tablespoons. It'll be fine. So I'm going to make a scoop. His very clean hands.
Should I wash them again?
I think you're fine. Okay. So, and we're going to roll them how? So we're going to roll them into balls and then they get into...
My part of the line, which first you put them in your normal sugar, then you take it out and put it in your like fine powdery sugar.
Powdered sugar, that's right. So, give me your hand. All right. There's your ball. You want it all covered. And then, in there, There you go. And then we're supposed to leave them 2 inches apart. They're supposed to be about 2 inches apart on our cookie sheet. There is a diagram about a good way to sort of offset them to make sure that they stay about 2 inches apart. Don't smash them. They're supposed to be round right now. They're supposed to be like balls, and then they will, when they bake, they'll sort of spread.
And then they'll be round.
And they'll be round and crinkly and apparently taste a lot like brownies.
Yeah, because that's one of the comments that other people that have made this.
Which is great because we like brownies, right?
Yeah. I mean, they probably should. I mean, brownies are chocolate. These are chocolate. A lot of stuff is chocolate. And a lot of stuff tastes like brownies.
Okay, so we're going to leave this for now. He's going to wash his hands, and we're going to put this in the oven.
I can't believe you can't eat the cookie dough. Because it has egg.
We're going to put these in our 325 degree oven for about 11 minutes until they're puffed and cracked and the edges have begun to set, but the centers will still look soft and maybe look a little raw inside.
Yeah.
And look underdone, but that'll be fine. So I'll show you what they look like in about 11 minutes. We had a filming issue with that camera, so we're going to show you one more time exactly how we made the cookies, like put them together, because I think we missed a good part of the actual cookie making. But I'm going to, with the little bit of batter we have left, I'm going to make a ball. And this is really,
set.
Yeah, really tough now. And we're going to roll it first in
the normal sugar.
Yep, plain granulated sugar.
Oh,
and we don't care. We just need to put these wherever we can on this pan. And then in the confectioner sugar. And then I'm going to get as much as I can, and maybe we can get one more cookie out of this. See how much I can get out of that. Not very much. So this one will be a little small, but that's okay.
That is okay.
So we managed to make almost 15 cookies with this batch, but that's okay.
No, 15.
Well, 14 and 3/4. But so we'll cook these, and we'll show you what they look like and let you know what we think in just a minute. On this episode of Cooking the Books with Heather, you watched us make chocolate crinkle cookies from the America's Test Kitchen Kids Baking Cookbook, whatever it's called. It'll be
at the beginning of the video.
That too. So we haven't tried these yet, so we're going to try these on camera.
Indeed.
So take your pick.
They actually do look a bit like an earthquake.
They're crinkly.
They're very chocolatey. The chocolate's not too dark. A little bit raw in the middle, but that's what you want.
They're supposed to be kind of chewy in the middle. They're supposed to be a chewy brownie-like cookie. What do you think?
Really good.
Really good. I enjoy them. I think we will like them. I think they're really pretty for Christmas and a little different than the white snowball cookies, but the
white snowball cookies weren't as good as this.
I love the white snowball cookies. They have nuts in them. Usually pecans. We make them with pecans. But these are good too. These are, if you want a chocolate cookie, these are definitely really good. What do you think?
The snowball cookies were too dry.
Oh, they tend to be crumblier, yeah. These are not. How hard do you think they were?
Out of 10, probably like an 8.
So they were a little difficult. Well, there were a lot of steps. There was melting chocolate and measuring stuff, but not too bad. Didn't need a mixer, so that was good. Did it all by hand. Yep.
By spatula.
With spatulas and whisks and all that. Yep. Probably the hardest part, I didn't let you do that, would be separating an egg yolk. I did that myself. I've been doing that a lot lately. So all the baking we've been doing, there's been a lot of that. So
yeah, so if you want to do this on a rainy day, this would be great with your kids. You could try and teach them to bake.
That's right. And this is a great book to do that, right? It has a lot of good instructions. You just have to read it. And there are a lot of great pictures too. So if you've enjoyed watching us make this, please give us a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button.
And come back for next week.
Watch us make something else. Or just me. We'll see.